Guys, it's Princess. Welcome back to my channel. So it feels weird filming because I haven't filmed in like a while because I've been moving and uni and stuff like that, so I've been really busy recently, but I'm back and I'm gonna try. I always say this, I'm gonna try. I always say I'm gonna try and be more consistent, and then I goes for like 2 weeks and then I come back. But anyways, you guys already know the vibe. This is actually a Patreon requested video, so I'm gonna be watching the Michael Jackson Magical Moon Tour, and I've never seen this before, but it's a movie and somebody on Patreon actually sent this to me to watch and react to, because as you guys know, if you guys want me to react to specific videos slash movies, you can join the Patreon and I'll get straight to it. So let's get straight to it. The Michael Jackson Magical Moon Tour. I'm ready.
I'm here inside Michael Jackson's chalet home in an undisclosed location deep within the Swiss Alps. For nearly 15 years, since the completion of his record-breaking This Is It tour, Michael Jackson will reveal himself as he has never done before, and will, I hope, continue to surprise, enlighten, and entertain us. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson, the King of Pop.
Okay, part one, from ground zero to the moon.
Good
so
evening.
we're gonna speak to Michael.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Eve. Thank you for asking.
Dang, that actually kind of sounds a little bit Michael Jackson, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually pretty cool.
Get the elephant out of the room.
Right. Well, I'm wearing a mask because my face is disfigured. This isn't a publicity stunt. My face is badly disfigured.
Dang. Michael, what happened? What happened, Michael? What happened?
I'm sorry.
Don't be. I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be who I am. I've never had so much fun in all my life. That's the truth.
May I ask what caused your disfigurement?
Oh, there were a number of different causes that sort of all happened at the same time. We could talk about my medical details if you like.
Maybe later. Is the mask real gold?
Yes, it is. Well, it's gold-plated. Solid gold would be way too heavy. My name is Michael Joseph Jackson, 7th of my parents' 9 children.
9 children? I didn't know he had that many siblings. I did not know that.
We lived on a street called Jackson Street.
Ha! Michael Jackson, Jackson Street. That's pretty cool.
I was so little that I really don't remember much about it. I just sang and danced, and I didn't understand why people were applauding and clapping and screaming. I really never thought about it. I just did it, and it came out.
And at the time, your father was your manager, right?
Yeah. He'd sit at home with us every day after school and critique us. If you messed up, you get hit. Sometimes with the belt, sometimes with a switch. Marlon was the one who got in trouble all the time.
Dang, his dad does not sound like the nicest person ever. I'm actually learning a bit about Michael Jackson. I didn't know all this stuff. Guess the more you learn, the more you know. Guys, excuse the excessive coughing. I have a cold. Again. Like, I just recovered from a cold and I have one again. So, R.I.P. Brit.
You have to put a lot of your time and give a lot of yourself. I remember going to the Motown record studio, and there was a park across the street, and I'd see all these children playing, and it made me so sad.
Dang, he was forced to work so hard as a kid. Like, that's a lot. I don't think anyone should experience that at such a young age. Like, as a child, working that much, you're a child.
So when Thriller became the biggest selling album of all time, it was listed in the Guinness Book of World Records. And that fact even appeared on the cover the way I imagined it. I was so happy, you have no idea.
That's cool. Guinness Book. I'm not gonna speak, because if I speak, I'm in trouble.
I felt on top of the world.
But was there anything from the early years of the Jackson 5 that you found gratifying?
Well, used to watch a Jackson 5 cartoon. It was so much fun being made into a cartoon.
I didn't know there was a Jackson 5 cartoon. That's pretty cool. How sweet.
In the early days, we were all together all the time. We'd ride horses or watch movies. We did everything together. As soon as someone said, "I'm going swimming," we'd all yell, "Me too!" The separation from my brothers started much later, when they began to get married. They got married young
Ooh.
to get away from my father.
Dang, that's deep. Getting married to get away from your father is a different type of pain, guys. That's crazy.
In 1972, we began our first overseas tour with a visit to England. And while we were there, we met the
hometown.
Queen of England. This was very exciting for us. I've seen photographs of the Beatles meeting with the Queen, but I never dreamt that we would get a chance to play for her.
Wow. R.I.P. the Queen. Love that woman. Well,
Did you like England?
Absolutely. England was different from any place I've ever been before.
England is cold and it's always raining and it gets dark early. What are you talking about, Michael? Michael, are you sure? My England? Maybe he went to a different England.
Once a reporter asked a Black Power question, and the Motown person told him that we didn't think about that stuff.
I bet that's not what they wanted. They're like, Michael, that's not the question, sir.
I'm not sure. But we winked and gave the power salute when we left. I hate doing the television show. We had to dress in ridiculous outfits and perform stupid comedy routines to can laughter. It was so fake. I'm not a comedian. I'm not a show host. I'm a musician.
Damn. Michael was really that guy. Like, he had to do everything. Literally everyone wanted a piece of him. He's like, chill.
Even though Off the Wall was a huge success, it received only one Grammy nomination.
You didn't attend the Grammys that year.
Right. I watched the ceremony on television. It was nice to win in my category, but I was still upset by what I perceived as rejection of my peers. That experience lit a fire in my soul. All I could think of was the next album and what I was going to do with it. I say to myself, wait till next time. They won't be able to ignore the next album.
Dang. He's so ambitious. But I don't know why I'm talking like this is the actual Michael Jackson, but he does sound like Michael Jackson, which is kind of eerie, but I guess that's the whole point, right?
2 albums where you get one good song and the rest were B-sides. I say to myself, why can't there be a pop album where every song is great? So that was my goal of Thriller album.
I'd say that the wig though is a bit bad. The wig though kind of throws it away, just a tad bit, just a little bit.
I had to redo the whole thing, mix the entire album all over again. We took a couple of days off, drew a deep breath, and stepped back.
Were you at least pleased with the finished product?
Well, I'm never pleased with anything. I'm a perfectionist.
I was about to say he sounds like a perfectionist, but I can relate to Michael. You're like, it's not perfect. It needs to be
It's a
perfect.
part of who I am.
Really?
Well, considering the amount of work I put into a project, I'm never pleased with anything. People just see the outcome of work. They never see the side of the work you go through to produce that outcome.
Sure.
When I have a great idea, I have an iron will.
So real. People only see the finished product, but they don't see all the time and the effort and the hours that you stay, trying to perfect your craft, trying to be amazing at what you're good at. And, everyone always judge you when it's done and when they can see it, but nobody knows how hard it was for you to actually get there. And Michael's a prime example of that, and I can relate to that on a smaller sense in terms of doing YouTube. People just see the success, they see the subscribers and oh my gosh, Princess, you're doing so well. But people were not there when I would spend days trying to research stuff about YouTube, trying to figure out the algorithm, how to make my thumbnails better. Nobody was there when I was struggling, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna have a successful YouTube channel. So
The music video is part of the original concept.
Yes, the 3 videos that came out of Thriller, Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller were all part of my original concept for the album. You know, why work so hard on an album and then produce a terrible video?
What was the goal of the Thriller video?
My main goal for Thriller's short film was to do something that would be scary and exciting.
What about the Beat It video?
The Beat It short film is another concept I came up with. I wanted real gang members, so we round up some of the toughest gangs in Los Angeles and put them to work on the video. It turned out to be a good idea. The effect is menacing. You can really feel the experience of the streets. You know those kids are tough. It was nothing like actors acting.
Were you scared?
That's crazy that he got real gang members to be in his music video. I'd be freaking the freak out. Like, y'all really be shooting people? Y'all really be stabbing people?
They're a nice bunch
Oh,
of guys. Like all of us, they just wanted to be seen. I've always wondered if they got the same message from the song that I did.
That's so interesting that he got like actual gang members to be in his video, and they were like, okay, I'll try not to kill nobody.
To work so hard on something, to give so much, and to succeed. I felt like a marathon runner breaking the tape at a finish line. That's the realization of a dream. That's powerful stuff.
Wow. Look at Michael receiving recognition for being him, as he should.
I've been going up to the stage and collecting awards with my sunglasses on. Finally, when Thriller won the best album, I went up to accept it and I took off my glasses. And the girls in the back row just went crazy.
Why did you wear sunglasses in public as often as you did?
Michael's so mysterious. Such a mysterious guy.
I wear sunglasses in public as often as I do because I simply don't like to have to constantly look everyone in the eye. It's a way to concealing just a little bit of myself.
So you won a record-breaking 8 Grammy Awards.
Right. And after all that, then there was
Wow.
the victory tour.
I feel like when I get really invested in movies, I like forget completely about the commentary and just like take everything in.
Biggest tour any group has ever done, in huge outdoor stadiums all over America and Canada. We broke records
Wow.
everywhere we played.
That's so cool.
Madison
That's
Square
actually so
Garden,
cool.
the Montreal Olympic Stadium, you name it. The victory tour was one of the greatest pinnacles of my success. It was just a phenomenal pinnacle.
That's so cool.
My dreams
That's
had come
actually
true.
so cool.
We're back with more of Michael Jackson, the King of Pop.
I started breaking all-time records. The media started turning the public against me. The press started printing these outrageous lies. He's gay. He's wacko.
I can't lie. I don't know what I would do if the media was saying stuff like that you know it isn't true. But even if it is true, it's like, mind your business.
They're ignorant.
And there was also a story about you wanting to have a little white boy playing you in a Pepsi commercial.
That's the most ridiculous, god-awful story
Dang,
I've ever
like
heard.
mad. They're making him mad.
I suppose the implication is that you want to be white?
That is complete rubbish. I'm proud of my race. I'm proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride and dignity. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of my skin.
Dark. That's dark, what the media put him through. I feel like the media kind of does this to celebrities, though. They try and destroy their credibility and paint them out to be all these things when sometimes it's not always the reality, you know? So it's interesting to see this kind of perspective.
No, that tabloid garbage isn't true. They know. They're smart. Neverland is me. It represents the totality of who I am. It really does.
Is it safe to say you can relate better to children?
Yeah, I relate to them much easier. They don't come with all the baggage and stuff. They just play. They just want to love and be loved. When I see children, I see the face of God.
Okay, I think that kind of sounds like a crazy statement, but I do kind of understand what he's trying to say.
So much. They saved my life. I'm not joking. They saved me. I have such concern for the plight of children. I feel their pain. I really do.
Wow. See, that's kind of understandable, because I feel like, I mean, in the Bible it tells us that, I mean, Jesus tells us to be like childlike, especially when it comes to faith. And something that I think is so unique and amazing about children and being a child is you kind of have this careless attitude, and you have like such a loving perspective of the world. You know, like you don't have all these like dark, deep thoughts. You're just, like Micheal said, you're playing, you're having fun, you're just living life. I mean, it's a bit odd, I guess, for an adult to say like I relate more to children. I can understand him saying like I understand children's plight, and I think children are amazing. But I can see both sides. I can see why he can say like, oh, I love the carefree attitude of children, but then again, I guess to the world it kind of sounds weird to say that, because you're like, what? Like, it sounds a bit creepy. But I don't think he means it in that sense. But if he does mean it in a sense of like children are so free thinking, they don't really care what anyone thinks, because you're a child, like you don't know anything. I remember like when I was young, I had no worries, I had no responsibilities, I didn't think about anything. Now I'm a bit older, and I'm so conscious of my actions and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's interesting.
Sure.
Such as?
Like the story of Adam and Eve and the snake. I think that myth is very misunderstood. The snake may be the oldest victim of bad press.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Don't know if I agree, but interesting take.
It's hard to say.
Perhaps with the first accusation of child molestation?
Perhaps. Or maybe before. It's hard to say.
Can you tell me about the first accusation?
Oh, I was blatantly extorted.
But you settled, right?
Yes.
Can I ask why you settled?
You mean, why did I settle if I was innocent?
Yes.
Well, I just want to get on with my life. Because I knew how it would look. This would be something that could go on for years. I didn't want to do a long, drawn-out thing. All these lies, and these tabloid shows. Just lies, lies, lies. Because I knew how it would look.
And just for the record,
I will say again, I have never and would never harm a child. Before I hurt a child, I would slit my wrist. And life is very beautiful and precious to me. But I would slit my wrist.
Okay, Micheal, we get it. You'd slit your wrist, like, okay. I mean, slitting the wrist is a bit excessive, but I get the point that he's trying to make.
do you still maintain that it's all right for an adult to sleep in the same bed as a child?
If you're gonna be Jack the Ripper, it's not a good idea. But who's Jack the Ripper in the room? I'm the guy in the sleeping bag on the floor.
Okay. Okay.
Didn't sleep in the bed with the child. I slept on the floor. But even if I did sleep in the bed, it would still be okay.
I don't know if I agree with adults sleeping in the same bed as children that aren't, like, if it's not your child, I don't think you should be sleeping in the same bed with, even if it is your child. Like, okay, no, you can sleep in the same, no, even that I just think is like not necessary. Like, okay, there are instances where a child wants to sleep in the bed with their parent, that's fine. But a grown adult sleeping in a bed with another child, to me, is weird. That's my personal opinion. Like, I would not let my child sleep in a bed with any adult, not even my child's uncle. No, because unfortunately, humans can get dark. Sorry, it just is what it is. I would not trust a adult in the same bed with my child. No, I don't care whether it's a woman. Like, even if it's your auntie, I'm not letting, like, my child's auntie sleep in the... Sorry, that's just me. I'm not letting them sleep in the same bed as my child. Nope. I'll sleep in the same bed as my child if my child, like, desperately wants me to, or, like, if my child's really, really young. Okay, fine. But once they get to the age where they can, like, speak, walk, talk, you know, all this, nah.
I slept in the bed with Macaulay Culkin when he was little. Macaulay was on this side, and his brother Kieran was on the other side. It was very sweet. We need more of that in the world.
Can you tell me about your arrest?
Oh, it was a complete travesty of justice. They searched my office without a warrant,
now, not a home.
and they also manhandled me very
Why try to
roughly.
do a Michael Jackson
Really,
accent?
complete
That didn't
travesty.
eat.
80 policemen in one bedroom. That's really overdoing it. I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now. It's not a home.
Believe there was a conspiracy against you?
Depends on what you mean by conspiracy.
A malevolent plot.
A malevolent plot. The interview woman is killing me. I like her.
Absolutely. That's a fact. My life was threatened.
May I ask who threatened you?
Oh, the first time it was a woman, one of my employees. I used to have hundreds of employees working for me. She was a minor employee. We were just talking when suddenly her expression changed and she said, "You know, we could have you killed. Stop what you're doing."
What did she mean by stop what you're doing?
Well, at the
Damn.
time, I was sort of trying to retake control of my life, cutting ties with people I suspected were part of the conspiracy.
Did you tell the police?
Not that time. Well, she didn't say, "We're going to kill you," but we can have you killed. But the threat is implicit.
Absolutely.
And she also threatened my children in the same way.
What was that like?
It was horrible. It was a nightmare. I could almost hear an old-fashioned fire engine bell ringing in the background. Ding, 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 ding. It was a nightmare, but a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. That's honestly what it felt like. I felt disconnected from reality.
Disconnected in what way?
Well, here's the thing. All my life, pretty well everything that I have ever imagined or wished for has come true in some way. And that's how I've always lived my life.
Like a dream.
Exactly. But somehow that dream became a nightmare. I remember thinking, no, 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 this isn't happening. I don't want this to be happening. But it was happening.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It was particularly terrifying because they obviously felt
This is getting
strong
a bit
enough in their
dark.
position
This is a
to make
bit
themselves
dark,
known.
isn't it?
We know that you know.
Exactly.
Did you at least fire the employee?
I didn't actually. I was too scared. But I heard she quit not long after. She had served her purpose. Sure. But it's all for love. Love. It was a particularly stressful time because I was secretly making arrangements to disappear, to go into hiding.
Really?
I suppose if they had suspected, I wouldn't be here talking with you today.
How soon after the final This Is It concert until you disappeared?
The same night.
Really?
Yeah, the same night. My children were already there because they had appeared on stage with me. So after the final encore, I went backstage and the adrenaline was still flowing and I knew it was time to go.
Michael really
I
said
could almost hear Beat It
this is
playing
it?
in the background. You
He said
know,
it's over.
just beat
It's
it.
over with.
Just beat it. So I took a deep breath and I headed for the door.
May I ask when your disfigurement started?
Around 5 years after the This Is It tour. And this is what brought me back down to earth. It reminds me that I'm still flesh and blood.
So you've lived with your disfigurement for around 10 years.
Right.
So you feel comfortable with your condition.
I feel great, Eve. Thank you for asking.
Do you always wear the same mask?
I wear a lot of masks. If it's just my family or my nurse, I usually wear something like a surgical mask.
Sorry, her outfit is sending me. Like, I'm trying to, like, pay attention, but her outfit is just, it's like, I don't understand the dramatics of it, but I don't know.
And without a wig.
You mentioned that your disfigurement was the result of a number of different causes that sort of happened at the same time.
Yes.
May I ask if plastic surgery was one of those causes?
All these charges are ridiculous. If they were true, I would say so.
Tell
But they're
him.
not. It's my face. I think I would know.
And these are things an autopsy would confirm.
Exactly. I don't know why I have been
Really?
singled out. Elvis had his nose done. Lisa Marie told me.
So how have you changed since you...
Well, you might have noticed some gold records hanging in the other room.
Sure.
Well, I never used to put any of my awards or trophies in my house. I put them all away in storage because I didn't want my subconscious mind to think that I've done it all.
But you did. It's okay. You have done it all. I mean, it's alright. It's okay to flex. Flex it a little bit. Flex it a little bit.
I'm not saying I'm holy, but I'm saying heal the world. Save our children. Save the forest. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Sure. When did you start displaying your awards?
A couple of years after the This Is It tour, I was going through...
What music do you listen to?
I actually mostly listen to classical music.
Really?
Yeah,
Same. Actually, no, I've never listened to classical music. No, I have. No, I have. Yeah. Classical music's alright.
I love all the greats. I love, of course, all the Beatles stuff. I love the Beatles music. I love all the early Motown, Sam Cooke, the Famous Flames. I love a lot of the show tune writers. I love melody, English melody, in the rhythm of Africa, which is the root of rhythm. Africa is music. It is the origin. It is the dawn of existence. They say the harmonies of the angelic choir are incredibly complex, but the rhythm is simple.
Do you listen to any contemporary music?
I don't really listen to a lot of music today, but there is some good music being made. The Heaven 17 and Johnny Burnaway.
Oh yeah, Johnny Burnaway's great. Very creative.
Yeah, I love an artist who doesn't play it safe.
Can you tell me about the songwriting process?
Well, the songwriting process, I try to imitate Jesus. I'm not saying I'm Jesus.
Sure. Are there any Bible stories that you like?
Absolutely. I love when Jesus says to the apostles, unless you become like this little child, not childish, but
I love that for
childlike.
you, Michael. I love that Michael, has a relationship with God and Jesus
I
Christ,
love when
which is the
Jesus
most
says,
important
first
thing.
remove the log from your own eye. I thought that was the perfect thing to say. That is real power.
If you want to make the world a better place, you have to change yourself first.
Okay. First, remove the log from your own eye. That's a really, really good one. Yeah. Okay, Michael with his Bible quotes.
I believe you can change a lot of people. That's what's so wonderful about it all. You can show them. The kingdom is here for us to claim.
How can people be changed?
Well, going to one of my shows is transformative experience.
I can't go to one of your shows anymore, Michael, unfortunately. So, don't know how I'm gonna be transformed.
Any regrets?
No, not really. I wouldn't change the past if I could. I'm enjoying myself.
Really?
Really. Because I'm happy with the way things are. That's why I wouldn't change a thing.
You don't have any regrets?
Well, I was at the Academy Award with Diana Ross. And Brooke Shields just came up to me and said, "Hi, are you going to the after party?" And I just melted. I was about 23 during Off the
That's
Wall.
good.
She was my type for sure. Very feminine and classy. And I don't like most girls. Her pictures were all over my room.
Really?
We exchanged numbers, and I was up all night spinning in my room. I was just so happy. There were fireworks going off. We had one...
Michael's keeping it real with us. He said, I don't like most girls, but Brooke, there was something about that girl. There was something about her that I liked, that I wanted to indulge in. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, Michael.
She got real intimate, and I chickened out. And I shouldn't have. Anyway, things like that. But I don't have many regrets. Needless to say, there have
so
been a lot of
cute and
wonderful women in
sweet.
my
I love
life.
that for him.
Women whose names you wouldn't know.
Do you have difficulty asking girls out?
I've never asked a girl out. I'd be way too shy. They have to ask me.
Do you think you'll ever get married again?
Maybe that'd be nice. Who knows what tomorrow brings? No star is too far to reach, and you'll never give up. And our mother taught us that as well.
Do you still see your family?
Sure, I love my family very much. I wish I could see them more often than I do, but they understand.
What gets you upset?
I get upset if some idiot, worse than a stooge, says something stupid and completely untrue. But I try not to be angry because I'm only hurting myself.
What do you love?
What do I love? Being able to give back, to help other people. And I love creating, to put my soul into something. I don't know the psychology of it or whatever. I just love working hard on something, putting it together, sweating over it, and then sharing it with people. That gives me great satisfaction as an artist.
What else do you love?
I love the power of mystery. I really do. I think it's very powerful.
If you remain mysterious, people will be more interested.
Whoa, that's so deep. If you remain mysterious, people will be more interested.
What advice I would give? I would tell them to make a good product. Greatness is greatness. Great art is forever. Culture changes, fashion changes. Great art is forever. We still listen to Mozart today, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven, any of them, any of the greats. Great art is forever. That's a fact.
And the artwork may not even get recognized in the lifetime of the artist.
Right. What's important is how the story ends.
Do you have any other advice for an aspiring artist?
Work hard. Really work hard. Be the best at what you can do. Get to know more about your field than anybody else. I'm a very strong believer in working hard. But enjoy it, Be mild-spirited, playful.
That's good advice.
Have some fun. You gotta have some fun too. My mind never stops. I'm always creating. I never stop. But I love a good water balloon fight.
How would you like to be remembered?
How would I like to be remembered? As a person who came and brought some light to the world, some escapism. Also as the voice for voiceless children.
May I ask why you waited so long to grant an interview? 15 years is a long time.
Well, to be honest,
Damn.
nobody ever asked me. I guess everybody just assumed I would say no.
Really?
Well, I think Barbara Walters requested an interview. But why would I want to put myself through that?
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we conclude?
I just want to say to all my fans in every corner of the earth, every nationality, every race, every language, I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much.
Wow. That's really endearing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson, the King of Pop.
Thank you guys so much, and I love you all. Thank you.
This is Eve Zarifa with Channel 11. Ladies and gentlemen, the King of Pop, Michael Jackson.
Wow, guys, that was actually such an interesting concept. I'm so glad I actually checked that out. I was very much engrossed, very much enjoyed it. I feel like regardless of what you think about Michael Jackson, like say whatever you want, he brought a lot of joy to people's lives and he probably helped a lot of people through his music and his performances. And yeah, I mean, it's sad how things kind of happened and all the struggles that he had and all the plots against him, all the people that were trying to bring him down. But when you think about how influential he was as a person, you know, he made a massive impact, you know, breaking the Guinness World Record and just like, I mean, being included in the Guinness Book of Records and, you know, winning all these Grammys, all these awards, like literally everybody knows who he is, you know what I mean? And that is something that no one will ever be able to take away from Michael Jackson. I feel like this was a very interesting insight into his life, and I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. And you know, there's always three sides to the story, you know, your side, the other person's side, and the truth. I think that's the saying. Yeah. So I mean, I guess we'll never really know the full truth of everything that happened and how everything unfolded, but you know, it's still good to get different perspective and different insights. So I'll be really curious to see what you guys think down in the comments below. What did you guys think of this movie? What did you guys think of this video? And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Join the Patreon as always, because that's where you want to be. And I think I'll see you in the next one. Bye.